at 5, we continue with the day's breaking campaign news. The FBI is renewing its investigation into Hillary Clinton's email server. Our own Ed Henry has been sorting through all the details since the news broke. He joins us now. Can you clarify for us, what did the FBI actually say?
First of all, they came out with a letter from James Comey that went up to senior lawmakers on the Hill. And by the way, they were stunned, and they're not even on Capitol Hill right now because they're on recess, as you know, for the election. That's a significant context here. And he said that in a separate investigation, didn't name which one, we picked up new emails that might, underscore might, have classified information. Investigative team came to the director and said, we think we need to take a look at this, and he agreed they needed to do that, first of all. Second of all, I had an FBI source in the 3 o'clock Eastern hour tell me that separate investigation was the Anthony Weiner sexting investigation that led the FBI to other emails on the devices of Anthony Weiner and Huma Abedin that led them to say we need to come back and look at this. Why is that significant? Well, everyone's obviously rightly focused on Hillary Clinton. This could end up being something where they say, well, Hillary Clinton had nothing really to do with this. It was Huma Abedin who shared it improperly with her husband at the time, and maybe she, lied to the FBI when she did that interview some months back. This is all speculative. This is all possible. We don't know where this is headed, but we also have to be clear that it might not end up again for the second time with any charges against Hillary Clinton or her staff. Or maybe this time this will lead to something. But Jake Gibson, one of our outstanding producers, just sent us information from a senior law enforcement official who said, look, they know about this pressure from the Clinton camp saying, why are you dropping this on us 11 days from the election? But they say once they found these new emails, they were damned if they do, damned if they didn't. If they come out now, the Democrats say you're trying to influence the election. If they hold this until November 9th and say, okay, let's not influence the election, let's wait. And then they find out there is classified information on November 9th or November 15th, and Hillary Clinton has been elected president, what do you think kind of criticism they'd face then? So they're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Let's start with our former prosecutor here at the table, Kimberly Guilfoyle.
No, it's not you, Greg. Once again, sorry. Hi, Ed. So yes, what an incredible story today, and obviously as a former prosecutor, I find it fascinating. The fact of the matter is that they would even say that they have to reopen an investigation or take a look at this. I mean, they couldn't wait. It's too significant, I think. I mean, and what I want to ask you about, too, is in terms of the security briefings, you saw Speaker Ryan say that he wants her to now get her security clearance, the briefings, for that to stop based on the reopening of this investigation. What are you hearing about that?
Yeah, because, and Rich Pompeo as well, who was on the Select Committee on Benghazi, is saying the same, that why is Hillary Clinton as a candidate, just as Donald Trump is, why is she still getting classified briefings about ISIS and other sensitive matters if there's still a cloud hanging over her? I sincerely doubt that the intelligence community is going to yank the classified briefings or her security clearance right now in the heat of this campaign in the final days. However, that political point can be made by Republicans simply because this is the FBI, which is supposed to be nonpartisan. And I do find it interesting that Democrats are now slamming the FBI when back in July when James Comey, who had been hailed as Republicans as this independent arbiter, and now Republicans have been mad in recent months. But after he said no charges in July, the Clinton camp said, hey, James Comey, he's the FBI director, 10-year term. He's not political. He said there's no there. Now all of a sudden they're all over James Comey.
Juan Williams.
So, Ed, there was a reaction quickly, not from Hillary Clinton, but John Podesta, the campaign chairman. And Podesta said, put up or shut up. Let's see what you've got. And what we've been hearing from you and other reporters talking with FBI sources is that this is not from Hillary Clinton's device, that this is from some other device in some other investigation. How many emails are involved? And is it possible that the FBI might reach a fast conclusion given the political pressures?
The honest answer is we don't know how many emails at this stage of the investigation, but I think it's an educated guess that it's going to be extremely hard to wrap this up in 11 days for a number of reasons. One of them is I spoke to someone close to this investigation who said, look, if in fact there's a problem with any of these emails involving Huma Abedin, as I noted before, she was interviewed by the FBI in sort of stage 1 of this investigation. I'm going to have to compare notes. What did she tell the FBI under oath? there have been many people over the years who maybe don't get caught on the mishandling classified information charge, but get caught up on lying to the FBI. Look what happened to General James Cartwright very recently. And so I'm not saying she lied to the FBI, but I'm saying the FBI is going to have to go back and look very carefully at what she said before, maybe even re-interview Huma Abedin, maybe even re-interview Hillary Clinton. So the idea that there'll be a speedy resolution to this seems like a stretch.
Eric Bullock.
Yeah, and that would beg the question, in the event she does end up pulling off a victory anyway and then gets indicted, or even worse, gets found guilty of a felony, you would have a felon as a president who would have to step down. I mean, all these things have to go into people's calculation on who you want to vote for. And just let me ask the question. Hillary Clinton, the judgment has to be in question right now. She's kept Huma Abedin very close to her. She travels right next to her on the airplane, knowing for many, many years that Huma's husband, now ex-husband or separated husband, has had these issues with texting, sexting young women going back years. Sure. And yet she never made that a line. Like, I need to push you away.
Right, and let me add another element to this. Is you crafted a scenario at the beginning about, what if Hillary Clinton is elected and there's an indictment or there's charges while she's president-elect? Well, think about President Obama. He then has the ability, of course, to pardon Hillary Clinton or not. And what has he done during this investigation? Well, one of the reasons why there's a cloud over the FBI investigation, you had former President Bill Clinton get on that airplane with the Attorney General, number one. And number two, President Obama, to our own Chris Wallace and to 60 Minutes on a couple of occasions said, I don't think there's any there. She didn't jeopardize national security. That looked like he was judging this investigation before it was through. So what role will President Obama play? That's a whole other aspect.
Possibly none. Okay, Gutfeld.
Ed, always a pleasure to see you.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
Especially under these circumstances, am I right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love talking.
What are you going as at Halloween?
I usually don't dress up.
Well, because you're Ed Henry, you don't have to.
Private server.
My question, yes, exactly. And later you get debriefed. Is the FBI in revolt in the sense that they knew there was enough there to go after Hillary, but they didn't, and they knew that if something came out later, they would look bad. So is this essentially, is Comey realizing that this other stuff came out because they were protecting themselves, rightly so?
Sure. Yeah, let me tell you what facts we know, and then let me tell you, what we don't know. And what we do know is, yes, the FBI has been near revolt. There are current FBI officials who've been telling us privately that they can't believe that James Comey had that news conference in July where he basically said that Hillary Clinton mishandled national security information, but said there wasn't enough here to bring charges, and that infuriated people inside the FBI. So, but what we don't know is whether did he latch on to this because agents came to him and said, "Hey, boss, we found some other stuff," and he saw a mulligan here. Like, I got a second crack at this, because if that's what's going on here, that's a very risky thing to do so close to an election.
All right, as we discussed, Hillary Clinton has yet to comment on these latest developments. But what's the buzz from her campaign? Jennifer Griffin is on the ground with Hillary in Iowa. We're going to check in with her next.
Hillary Clinton won't change Washington. She's been there 30 years. Taxes went up, terrorism spread, jobs vanished. But special interests and Washington insiders thrived. Donald Trump will turn Washington upside down. Day one. Real change that puts Americans first. A vote for Hillary is a vote for more of the same. A vote for Donald Trump is a vote for change that makes America great again.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
We have been making a